So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, I want to get straight into this. Straight into it. Mike Tyson has said that he feels that Canelo Alvarez will knock out Billy Joe Saunders in 1 or 2 rounds. He'll knock him out when he feels like it. Now, here's what I want to say on this matter. You've got some fans in America that literally think this is going to be a cakewalk. You've got the other side of fans which believe that Billy Joe Saunders is going to school Canelo and lay a punch, and Canelo won't lay a punch. And you've got certain fans that think that, you know what, Canelo's going to knock Billy Joe Saunders out. This is a bum fight. This is an easy fight. And that's where I disagree with some of the American fans, and I even disagree with Mike Tyson. Massive fan of Mike Tyson, legendary fighter, but I disagree with him here. I think those that have seen Billy Joe Saunders fight and seen his career know that he's a good fighter. Now, I don't agree with some of his fanboys which are saying that, you know, he's going to school Canelo, he's all wrong for Canelo, because I believe Canelo will win the fight. That's my prediction. However, I don't think he's going to get blown away. I don't think this is an easy fight by any stretch. You know, I think this is a tough fight. I don't think this is an easy fight for Canelo at all. But I think when people in America that haven't seen Billy Joe Saunders fight think that, you know, Canelo will just knock him out when he wants to, I disagree with that, because Billy Joe Saunders is a lot more tougher than what people think. He's a lot more trickier. He's not a Yildirim. He's not just going to come there and get laid out. Look, Callum Smith went the distance with him. Callum Smith was a lot better than Yildirim, and he went the distance with Canelo Alvarez. I know Callum Smith's a lot bigger and probably more durable than Billy Joe Saunders, because Billy Joe Saunders isn't a big super middleweight. He's actually a middleweight that's moved up, and he's not really a super middleweight at all. I think he's moved up because he knew that was where the opportunities were at. That's where all the big fights and the big money was at. So he moved up. He managed to win a world title, a vacant world title against Shifat Asufi. And now he holds one of the world championships. And Canelo obviously made it clear that he wanted to become undisputed champion. But the people in America that are dismissing this fight and making it out like Billy Joe Saunders is some kind of joke and he's going to get blown away. No, he's not. I don't see this fight ended in 1 or 2 rounds. I have to disagree with Mike Tyson. I don't see this fight over in 1 or 2 rounds. No way. I think Billy Joe Saunders is a good enough boxer to give Canelo trouble. I think he's going to give him trouble. I do. I don't think it's going to last though. I just think Canelo's boxing IQ, his strength, his pressure, eventually will take its toll. But to say 1 or 2 rounds or he'll knock him out when he wants to, Billy Joe Saunders is a good fighter. This is the problem. You've got certain fans that are Billy Joe Saunders fans that think that he's going to school Canelo and Canelo won't land a punch, which is one extreme. And then you've got another extreme that think that Billy Joe Saunders is going to get knocked out by Canelo whenever Canelo wants to knock him out 1 or 2 rounds, which is another extreme. See, I'm a neutral. I'm more in the middle, where I've seen Billy Joe Saunders and I've seen he's a very good fighter. And I know that he will most likely give Canelo some trouble in this fight. But then I do feel that Canelo's superior skills will show itself during the fight. And I think his strength, like I said, and pressure, his punching power will get to Billy Joe Saunders. That's just the way I see it. I might be wrong. Maybe Billy Joe Saunders does school him, you know. At the end of the day, we've all got our own opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. But when the thing is with a lot of the American fans, a lot of them don't really have a lot of respect for some of the British fighters. I've seen some of their comments because I'm on a lot of Facebook groups and I interact with a lot of American fans. I know how they view a lot of British fighters. They don't really view them very highly. Billy Joe Saunders is a good fighter. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. For me, I do think Billy Joe Saunders is going to give Canelo trouble like Khan did. I do. I think Khan gave Canelo trouble as well. I think Khan was obviously very, very talented as well. And he gave Canelo a lot of trouble. He just wasn't big enough. Now, is Billy Joe Saunders going to be able to absorb a punch better than Khan? Is he going to be able to keep it up? Because Khan, as we saw, his stamina started to dip, you know, as the fight started going on. And in the end, we didn't really find out because he got caught with one punch and he got knocked out. With Billy Joe Saunders, for me, I feel that the fight's going to play the same way, in the sense that I think Billy Joe Saunders is going to be able to outbox Canelo for a couple of rounds. So that's how I see it. I think first couple of rounds, Billy Joe Saunders is going to have to start fast. He's going to have to win the first couple. If Billy Joe Saunders doesn't win the first couple of rounds, then he's not going to win this fight. But the way I see this playing out, I think Billy Joe Saunders is going to do well early on in this fight, win the first couple of rounds. I think it's round 4 onwards. We're going to see whether Billy Joe Saunders, his stamina, whether he can hold a shot, how he can hold a shot, whether he ties, and that's going to determine the fight for me. If Billy Joe Saunders gets around 7, 8, 9 and he's not blowing, he's looking good, we may have a fight. We may have an upset on the cards. But that's gonna be the important phase of the fight for me. He might do well for a couple of rounds. I'm not denying that. He may do well for a couple of rounds. Right? It's not the first 3 or 4 rounds that if Canelo gets him out of there in the first 3 or 4 rounds, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting more round 6 to round 9 kind of breakdown from Canelo, and I'm expecting probably round 8 to 10 stoppage. I do think Canelo will stop Saunders, but I don't think it's 1 or 2 rounds, and I don't think it will just be one-way traffic. I think Billy Joe Saunders will have a lot of success in this fight. I don't agree with certain fans that think that Billy Joe Saunders is going to school Canelo and he's not going to be able to land a punch, because I have seen some of you say that as well, which is absurd. If you think that, if you genuinely think that he's not going to land a punch, then you've obviously been watching the wrong sport, because how does Martin Murray land so many punches? How did Andy Lee land so many punches? How did Chris Eubank land so many punches? There's no way Canelo's not going to be landing punches in this fight. He's going to be landing a lot. So Billy Joe Saunders, we're going to have to see what his punch resistance is like. What his stamina is going to be like. What is he like under constant pressure from Canelo? All of these things are going to be tested. Is Billy Joe Saunders' first time in his career going to struggle to land on an opponent? All of these things for Saunders is going to be tested. But in terms of him, there's certain fans thinking that he's going to get blown away in 1 or 2 rounds, or Mike Tyson saying I don't agree with that. I do expect Billy Joe Saunders to have success in this fight. I do expect Billy Joe Saunders to have his success in this fight. I don't think he's going to get blown away like that. Just, Canelo comes in and do a Yildirim where I don't think Billy Joe Saunders will be like a rabbit in the headlights. No. Billy Joe Saunders got a big heart, and Billy Joe Saunders believes in himself. He genuinely believes in himself. It's not a case where Billy Joe Saunders is like, I do believe him when he says he's not coming for a paycheck, or he's not just coming to lie down. I do agree with him. I do agree with him. I do agree with him. He's definitely not coming to lie down. He's coming to fight. And he's gonna do his best in the fight. He's not gonna get knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds. I'll be very surprised. If he gets knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds. There's no way. This is not a Yildirim. Billy Joe Saunders is leveled above Yildirim. When Canelo is in there with a very, very good boxer, he's definitely going to be tested. We saw it. If you look at all his career against good, fast boxers, he's not had it easy. You can even look at the Trout fight, the Lara fight, even Khan. You look at all the Mayweather, he's never had it easy. And Billy Joe Saunders is a boxer. He's not coming there to slug with Canelo or coming to walk him down. He's coming to box and move, use his feet, use his hand speed. And that's what he's trying to do in the fight. And Canelo has shown. Now, I do think Canelo's improved massively. Now, all of those fights that I mentioned were a very, very long time ago. A very, very long time ago. And let's be honest, Billy Joe Saunders' performances have not exactly been stellar. They've been very poor. If we look at the YouTube undercard performance and the Martin Murray one, they haven't been great. They haven't been great. So that's why I think Canelo's a massive favorite. But to say Billy Joe gets knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds, that's just, nah, man. Nah. Not all. No chance. No chance. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. I think Billy Joe Saunders is definitely going to put in... he's definitely going to give a good account of himself. No way he's just going to get blown away in 1 or 2 rounds. That's not the Saunders that I've seen fight. I think eventually Canelo's class and pressure strength and all of that will take its toll. That's the way I see the fight going. But 1 or 2 rounds, that's a joke. No, I don't see him getting knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds. This isn't a Yildirim. It's a lot tougher than that. It's a lot harder than that. And I think a lot of the American fans that think that, probably because they haven't seen Saunders fight, and they just think it's another guy from Europe that's just going to come and get knocked out. I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way at all. I think Billy Joe Saunders is definitely going to give a good account of himself. He might come up short, but he's not 1 or 2 rounds. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think we're gonna see a good fight. We're definitely gonna see a good fight. So yeah, what do you guys make of it? Like Billy Joe Saunders being underestimated. Now Billy Joe Saunders, I think he does feel a little disrespected. The fact that, you know, certain people are saying that, but you know, when you go into fights like that and you're an underdog and the other guy's such a big favorite, you do feel disrespected like that. You do feel like, oh, why, you know, I'm a good fighter and these guys are just writing me off. Especially when you hear like Mike Tyson, a legendary guy, say that, you know, Canelo's going to knock this guy out in 1 or 2 rounds. You know, I'm sure Billy Joe Saunders sees and reads these things, you know. But again, he's going into the Lion's Den fighting a guy who's the best in the world right now, who most people think is the best fighter in the world. So people are going to say these things. It's for Billy Joe Saunders Billy Joe Saunders to prove everyone wrong. Remember Andy Ruiz. What were people saying when Andy Ruiz fought Joshua? They were saying, oh, Andy Ruiz is going to get knocked out in 2-3 rounds. He looks terrible. Nobody gave him a chance. Andy Ruiz was a way bigger underdog than what Saunders is. Nobody gave Andy Ruiz a sniff in that fight. They just thought it's an opportunity. He's coming on short notice. He's going to go in there. He's going to get blown away. Billy Joe Saunders is actually a more credible champion. He's a guy that, you know, people actually rate. Especially hardcore boxing fans that know the sport, they rate. They know he's got ability. Yeah, most of them, more than 90% probably feel that Canelo wins. But they do think that, you know, he's going to give him some trouble. But yeah, I don't agree with that 1 or 2 rounds. No, I think Billy Joe Saunders is going to put up a fight. He's going to put up a fight. No way he just falls away in 1 or 2 rounds. I can't see it. I can't see it. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.